The intrigue of an unforgettable mind. Have you ever caught yourself thinking about someone long after they've left the room? Their voice lingers, their smile replays in your mind, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't shake the feeling. What if I told you that this experience isn't just a fluke? It's not fate, and it's not magic. In fact, it's a carefully wired process that unfolds within the human mind. But here's the real question. What if you could control this process? What if you could make him think about you like that? Imagine the power of planting yourself so deeply in his thoughts that you become unforgettable. You're about to unlock the psychology behind this phenomenon. How people stay in our minds, not just because of who they are, but because of how they make us feel. You'll learn that attraction is more than just physical. It's a series of carefully orchestrated triggers that can make someone think of you over and over again, long after you've said goodbye. In this chapter, we'll dive deep into the power of first impressions, nonverbal cues, and how you can leave a lasting mark on someone's mind. Whether you've just met or known him for years, the strategies you're about to discover will ensure that you're the one he can't stop thinking about. The mystery of the mind. Why some people stay with us. There's something almost mystical about it, isn't there? We meet dozens of people every day, yet only a few seem to linger in our thoughts. Psychologists call this the halo effect, where a single positive trait, a smile, a shared joke, a fleeting look, triggers an entire cascade of emotions, leaving us enchanted. But what's happening in the brain during these moments of connection? The human mind is wired to seek emotional stimuli. It craves connection, excitement, and most importantly, novelty. When we encounter someone who activates these emotions, they carve out a place in our memory, creating mental loops that keep returning to that moment. The more emotional the interaction, the deeper the impression. Here's the key. These moments don't happen by accident. Every smile, every glance, every touch has the power to anchor you into his thoughts. You're about to learn how to wield these tools to your advantage. First impressions. How to hook him instantly. They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that's for good reason. In just a few seconds, people subconsciously form lasting opinions. These impressions are based not only on how you look, but on the signals you send through body language, tone of voice, and even how you hold yourself. When you meet someone for the first time, their brain is busy categorizing you, friend or foe, interesting or boring, attractive or forgettable. But here's the exciting part. Our brains are also wired to remember what's different. The more unique and intriguing you seem, the more likely he is to remember you. Here's how you can stand out from the crowd. Engage with curiosity. Ask questions that show genuine interest, but leave some mystery. People love to talk about themselves, but leaving just enough unsaid about yourself can keep him wanting to know more. Eye contact and a smile. There's nothing more powerful than holding someone's gaze just a little longer than expected. It sends a subconscious signal of confidence, warmth, and interest. Touch, but only subtly. Research shows that a light, casual touch on the arm during conversation can increase feelings of connection and attraction. When you combine these elements, curiosity, eye contact, and touch, you create a cocktail of psychological triggers that captivate his attention. But this is only the beginning. The science behind why we can't let go. Have you ever wondered why some memories of people fade so quickly, while others persist no matter how much time has passed? Neuroscience offers us the answer. It's all about emotional intensity. When we feel something deeply, joy, surprise, excitement, our brains flood with chemicals like dopamine, reinforcing those memories and making them harder to forget. This is why the people who make us feel something are the ones we remember. They become part of the story our brains are constantly telling us. In a world full of distractions, your goal is simple: to be the emotional high point in his day, the one memory his brain clings to. Whether it's through laughter, shared moments, or even a little mystery, you need to evoke an emotional response that sticks. This chapter has laid the foundation for creating that unforgettable connection. You've learned how first impressions can hook someone in a matter of seconds, and how emotional intensity makes memories last. But there's so much more to explore. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the psychology of attraction and how you can ensure that once you've entered his mind, you never leave. This is just the start. If you like the direction, I can continue building from here or adapt certain parts based on your preferences. The power of subtle influence, how to leave a lasting mark. They say the devil is in the details, but when it comes to capturing someone's mind, the magic is in the subtleties. What if you didn't need grand gestures or dramatic confessions to make him think about you? What if the real key to lingering in his thoughts was something much simpler? So subtle, in fact, that he wouldn't even realize it was happening. In this chapter, we'll explore the science and psychology behind subtle influence, the small cues, gestures, and behaviors that create a deep, lasting impression. From the way you speak to the words you choose, and even the timing of your responses, these seemingly minor factors have a profound impact on how someone perceives you and how long you stay on their mind. You're about to discover how the art of subtle influence works, why it's so powerful, and how you can master it to ensure that he's thinking about you long after your conversations have ended. The subconscious mind, where real influence begins. Before we dive into the techniques, it's important to understand the playground you're working in. His subconscious mind. The subconscious is where most of our decisions are made, where feelings of attraction, comfort, and even love begin to form. This part of the brain works quietly in the background, processing signals and information without us even being aware of it. What's fascinating is that subtle cues, things like body language, tone of voice, and word choice, are processed almost entirely by the subconscious. This is why subtlety is so effective. While the conscious mind may not immediately register these cues, the subconscious absorbs them like a sponge, building an impression that sticks. The power of subtle influence lies in the fact that it bypasses logical thinking. It doesn't hit him over the head with obvious tactics. Instead, it gently works its way into his thoughts, making him feel drawn to you without understanding exactly why. The language of attraction, words that stick. It might surprise you to learn that the words you use have a direct effect on how long someone thinks about you. Language is powerful, especially when it's intentional. But what does it mean to use words that stick? One of the most effective techniques is something called emotional resonance. This involves using language that evokes an emotional response, whether it's joy, curiosity, nostalgia, or even a little intrigue. People are far more likely to remember conversations that made them feel something, and the emotions you invoke will linger long after the words have faded. Here's how you can do it. Use open-ended questions. These invite deeper, more personal conversations, making it easier for you to connect on an emotional level. Instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" try, "What's the most interesting thing that happened to you today?" This shifts the focus from surface-level exchanges to meaningful dialogue. Mirror his language. People are naturally drawn to those who seem familiar or in sync with them. By subtly mimicking his choice of words or phrases, you create a sense of comfort and connection. Just be careful not to overdo it. Subtlety is key. Plant ideas with metaphors. Metaphors and analogies are more memorable than straightforward statements. For example, instead of saying, "You make me happy," try, "Being around you feels like walking through sunshine." Metaphorical language activates the brain's visual centers, making your words more vivid and lasting. When you master the art of choosing words that resonate emotionally, you increase the chances that your conversations will stick with him, replaying in his mind long after they're over. What you're saying without words. While language is crucial, it's only part of the equation. In fact, most of what we communicate happens without words. Body language, facial expressions, and even the tone of your voice can send powerful signals, sometimes even more effectively than spoken words. Psychologists often refer to nonverbal communication as the silent language, and when it comes to attraction, it's one of the most powerful tools you have. The key is to use nonverbal cues that subtly signal interest and confidence without coming across as overly eager or forced. Some of the most effective nonverbal techniques include mirroring body language. Just as you can mirror his words, you can also subtly mirror his body movements. If he leans in slightly, you can do the same. If he crosses his arms, gently mirror that action after a few moments. This creates a subconscious sense of connection, making him feel more comfortable and in sync with you. Hold eye contact longer. Eye contact is one of the most direct ways to establish intimacy and connection. By holding eye contact just a beat longer than usual, you create a sense of intrigue and interest. But be careful not to stare. It's all about balance. Use light, casual touches. Studies have shown that light, non-invasive touch can increase feelings of connection and attraction. A brief touch on the arm during conversation or a gentle nudge can make him feel closer to you. The key is to make it seem natural and unforced. When used together, these subtle nonverbal cues can create a powerful effect. They send signals of confidence, interest, and warmth, all without a single word being spoken. The art of mystery, leaving him wanting more. There's a reason why mystery is often associated with attraction. When we don't have all the answers, our brains naturally seek to fill in the gaps, leading us to think more about the person who left us with those unanswered questions. This is why playing it cool and maintaining a sense of mystery can be so powerful. The trick to creating mystery is not about being distant or cold. It's about being selectively revealing, offering glimpses of who you are, but leaving just enough unsaid that he's left wanting to know more. Here are some ways to create that elusive sense of mystery. Don't reveal everything at once. It's tempting to share everything about yourself when a thruff hangs. If you've ever wondered why certain people stay on your mind, it's often because of the way they make you feel. Emotions have a remarkable ability to anchor memories. And when someone triggers a strong emotional response, whether it's joy, excitement, or even a little frustration, they leave a lasting impression. If you want to be the person he can't stop thinking about, it's essential to master the art of creating emotional imprints. In this chapter, we'll explore how emotions fuel memory, how to evoke powerful feelings in a natural and authentic way, and why it's crucial to create not just any emotion, but the right type of emotional experience. This is how you go beyond surface-level attraction and become unforgettable. The science of emotional memory: why feelings last longer than words. The human brain is wired to prioritize emotional experiences. When we feel something strongly, our brain releases neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine, which strengthen the connections between neurons and make it easier to recall those moments later. This is why memories tied to strong emotions often feel vivid, even years after they occur. Simply put, the stronger the emotion, the deeper the memory. And this doesn't just apply to positive feelings. Sometimes, even moments of frustration or tension can leave a deep emotional imprint, provided they are balanced with warmth and affection. So if you want to make sure he's thinking about you long after your interactions, you need to create moments that evoke genuine, powerful emotions. These moments don't have to be dramatic or extreme. They just need to resonate deeply. Opening the door to connection. One of the most effective ways to create a deep emotional bond is through vulnerability. When we share parts of ourselves that are honest, raw, and sometimes a little imperfect, we invite the other person to connect with us on a more meaningful level. Vulnerability shows authenticity, and people are naturally drawn to those who are real and open. Here's how you can use vulnerability to leave a lasting impression. Share personal stories. Whether it's a memory from childhood, a dream you have for the future, or a struggle you've overcome, personal stories allow him to see beyond the surface. These moments of honesty create emotional depth and make him feel like he's getting to know the real you. Admit flaws and fears. It's tempting to always want to present the best version of ourselves, but perfection is forgettable. What makes people memorable are their quirks, their insecurities, and the things they're working on. By admitting something as simple as, "I'm really nervous about this new project at work," you make yourself relatable and human. Listen with empathy. Vulnerability isn't just about sharing your own stories. It's about creating a space where he feels safe sharing his too. When he opens up about something personal, listen intently, respond with understanding, and avoid judgment. This builds a deeper emotional connection and reinforces the bond between you. When vulnerability is reciprocated, it lays the foundation for emotional intimacy. It's this level of intimacy that keeps you in his thoughts, because you're no longer just an acquaintance, you're someone who truly understands him. The power of positive emotions. While vulnerability creates depth, humor, and playfulness add lightness to a relationship. Laughter, after all, is one of the most powerful ways to bond with someone. When we laugh, our brain releases endorphins, feel-good chemicals that help us relax and feel connected to the people we're with. Humor can also create emotional highs, which are critical in forming lasting memories. People remember how you make them feel, and if you can associate yourself with feelings of joy, excitement, and fun, he'll be more likely to think about you fondly. Here's how to use humor to leave an emotional imprint. Find a shared joke. Inside jokes create a sense of exclusivity and connection. They act as a shorthand that only the two of you understand, making your interactions feel more personal and unique. Even a simple, silly moment you both laughed about can become an anchor for positive memories. Use playful teasing. Light teasing can create a sense of intimacy and flirtation, as long as it's done in a good-natured way. The key is to keep it fun and never cross into hurtful territory. For example, teasing him about his obsession with a certain TV show or the way he always overthinks things can create a playful dynamic. Be spontaneous. Whether it's suggesting an impromptu adventure or cracking a joke at an unexpected moment, spontaneity keeps things exciting. People are naturally drawn to those who bring unpredictability and joy into their lives. The more fun he has around you, the more he'll associate you with positive emotions. Humor has a way of disarming us, making us feel comfortable, and ultimately creating bonds that are hard to forget. By incorporating lightness and play into your interactions, you make sure that you're the person he looks forward to spending time with. Shared experiences, creating emotional anchors. While conversations and laughter are important, shared experiences take things to the next level. These experiences create emotional anchors, moments that are tied to a specific time and place, making them easier to remember. Whether it's a spontaneous road trip, a late-night conversation under the stars, or even a challenging situation you navigated together, these moments create a shared history that lingers in both of your minds. Here's how to create emotional anchors. Do something new together. The human brain is wired to remember novelty. When you experience something new and exciting together, it leaves a stronger emotional imprint. This could be as simple as trying a new restaurant, going to a concert, or exploring a part of the city you've never been to before. Create rituals. Shared rituals, even small ones, can create a sense of connection. For example, maybe you both love getting coffee at a particular cafe, or you always text each other a funny meme before bed. These little rituals create consistency and become part of your shared story. Be present in the moment. One of the simplest but most powerful ways to create emotional anchors is by being fully present. In today's world, where distractions are everywhere, giving someone your full attention can feel like a rare and valuable gift. When you're truly engaged in the moment, listening, laughing, sharing, it leaves a lasting impact. By creating these moments of connection, you make sure that you're not just someone he thinks about occasionally, you're someone whose presence is woven into the fabric of his experiences. Emotional balance. Why variety matters. While it's important to create positive emotional experiences, it's equally crucial to maintain balance. Relationships that are too predictable can become stagnant, and people who are too perfect can start to feel distant or unattainable. This is why a healthy mix of emotions, joy, excitement, vulnerability, even a little tension, keeps things dynamic and engaging. Here's how to maintain emotional variety. Don't be afraid of conflict. It might seem counterintuitive, but small moments of tension or disagreement can actually strengthen a relationship. The key is to navigate these moments with respect and understanding. Overcoming a disagreement or working through a problem together creates a sense of resilience and deepens the emotional bond. Create emotional highs and lows. Life is a mix of ups and downs, and relationships should reflect that. By sharing moments of joy alongside moments of vulnerability, you create a full emotional spectrum that keeps the connection dynamic and engaging. Surprise him. People often get stuck in routines, and routines can become forgettable. By introducing an element of surprise, whether it's a spontaneous compliment, an unexpected date idea, or even a playful challenge, you keep things fresh and exciting. The element of surprise creates emotional highs, which help anchor memories. By embracing emotional variety, you ensure that your relationship is never monotonous. You create a dynamic, engaging connection that keeps him emotionally invested and, most importantly, thinking about you. The power of leaving him wanting more. One of the most powerful emotional imprints you can create is the feeling of anticipation. When someone is left wanting more, they'll spend time thinking about what could happen next. This is why pacing is so important in building an emotional connection, knowing when to lean in and when to pull back. Here's how to create anticipation. End on a high note. Whether it's a conversation, a date, or even a text message, try to end things on a positive, high-energy note. This leaves him with a sense of excitement and makes him more likely to replay the experience in his mind. Be slightly elusive. You don't need to be mysterious to the point of being unavailable, but leaving a little bit unsaid or unfinished can create intrigue. For example, if you're in the middle of a great conversation, you might end with, "I can't wait to hear more about that next time," creating anticipation for your next meeting. Give him space to miss you. While it's important to create strong emotional connections, it's equally important to give him space to process and reflect. If you're always available, there's no time for him to miss you or think about how much he enjoys your presence. A little distance can make your next interaction even more exciting. By leaving him wanting more, you create a cycle of anticipation that keeps you at the forefront of his thoughts. This chapter explored the power of emotional imprints and how to use vulnerability, humor, shared experiences, and emotional variety to create lasting memories. By understanding the emotional impact you have on someone, you can shape the way they think about you and ensure that you become a person they can join. The art of subconscious attraction, planting the seeds of desire. As we've already uncovered, staying in someone's thoughts goes beyond the surface. It's about creating an emotional connection that lingers. But there's another layer to this, the art of subconscious attraction. This is where things get truly fascinating. What if you could make him think about you without him even realizing why? Subconscious attraction isn't about manipulation or trickery. It's about understanding the psychological triggers that make someone feel a deep, instinctual pull toward you. In this chapter, we'll delve into the science of the subconscious mind and how to plant subtle seeds of desire that will make him think of you long after you've left the room. By using techniques like anchoring, priming, and positive association, you'll discover how to create powerful subconscious connections that keep you in his thoughts even when you're not around. Understanding the subconscious mind, the hidden force of attraction. The human brain is a remarkable organ. While we think we're in control of our thoughts, much of our decision-making and emotional responses happen beneath the surface, in the realm of the subconscious. The subconscious mind is where habits are formed, instincts reside, and, crucially, where attraction begins. When you meet someone, their subconscious is constantly taking in information, your body language, your scent, your tone of voice, and even your energy. It's a complex process that happens without conscious thought, and yet it's a huge factor in determining whether someone feels drawn to you. Here's the exciting part. You can influence this process. By subtly engaging with someone's subconscious, you can plant the seeds of desire and ensure that you're on their mind, even when they can't quite explain why. Priming the subconscious, creating emotional associations. One of the most powerful tools in subconscious attraction is priming, the psychological phenomenon where exposure to one stimulus influences how someone responds to a subsequent stimulus. In simpler terms, if you prime someone's subconscious with positive associations, they're more likely to connect those feelings to you. Let's break this down into actionable steps. Associate yourself with positive emotions. One of the simplest ways to prime the subconscious is to make sure you're present when he's feeling good. This doesn't mean you need to orchestrate elaborate events. It can be as simple as being around him when he's relaxed, happy, or enjoying a good conversation. Over time, his brain will start to link those positive emotions with you, creating a powerful association. Trigger nostalgia. Nostalgia is a powerful emotion that can instantly transport someone to a happy, comforting place. By subtly bringing up topics or memories that evoke a sense of nostalgia, you can prime his subconscious to associate you with those same warm, comforting feelings. For example, if you know he loved a particular song or place from his childhood, bringing it up in conversation can trigger those nostalgic emotions, and you'll be the one who made him feel them. Use sensory triggers. The five senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, are incredibly powerful when it comes to forming memories and associations. For instance, wearing a particular perfume that he likes or always playing a certain song when you're together can create a sensory trigger. Over time, these triggers will become linked to you in his mind, even when you're not around. Priming works because it bypasses logical thinking and taps directly into the emotional centers of the brain. The more positive associations you can create, the more likely it is that he'll think of you fondly, even when he's not consciously trying to. Anchoring, how to link emotions to you. Another powerful technique rooted in psychology is anchoring. Anchoring is the process of creating a mental link between an emotional state and a particular person, place, or object. Once an anchor is established, the mere presence of that person or object can trigger the associated emotion. Here's how to use anchoring to your advantage. Create a shared experience. One of the best ways to anchor an emotion to you is by creating a memorable experience together. Whether it's something as simple as laughing at a funny movie or having a deep conversation over coffee, these shared moments can be anchored to the feelings of joy, connection, or comfort. The next time he experiences a similar situation, even if you're not there, his brain may recall the emotions from your shared moment and associate them with you. Use physical touch. Physical touch is one of the most direct ways to anchor emotions. For example, if you lightly touch his arm or shoulder during a moment of laughter or excitement, his brain will start to associate that touch with positive feelings. Over time, even a small, casual touch can trigger a flood of emotions tied to those memories. Repeat key phrases or inside jokes. Just as physical touch can anchor emotions, so can words. If you share an inside joke or a particular phrase that only the two of you use, it can serve as an emotional anchor. Every time he hears that phrase, even in a different context, it may trigger the feelings of connection and familiarity you've built. Anchoring is about creating mental shortcuts, pathways that link you to positive emotions in his mind. The more you can associate yourself with feelings of happiness, excitement, and comfort, the stronger the anchor becomes. The role of mystery and scarcity, why less can be more. There's a reason why mystery is often cited as one of the most attractive qualities in a person. The human brain is wired to seek out answers to the unknown. When something is incomplete or unresolved, our minds keep turning it over, searching for a solution. This is where the scarcity principle comes into play. The less available something is, the more desirable it becomes. Here's how to leverage mystery and scarcity to your advantage. Don't reveal everything at once. If you lay all your cards on the table too soon, there's no room for curiosity. By keeping certain aspects of yourself hidden, whether it's your deeper thoughts, future plans, or even your full attention, you create a sense of intrigue. This keeps him thinking about you, wondering what else there is to discover. Be just a little unavailable. While it's important to show interest, being too available can diminish your perceived value. By occasionally being busy or not responding right away, you create a sense of scarcity. This triggers the scarcity principle, making him value your time and attention even more. Leave conversations on a high note. One of the best ways to leave him wanting more is by ending your interactions at the peak of interest. Whether it's during a phone call or an in-person meeting, exiting the conversation when the energy is still high creates anticipation for the next time. This unfinished feeling keeps him thinking about what could have been said or done, ensuring you stay on his mind. Mystery and scarcity are about balance. You don't want to come across as distant or uninterested, but by holding back just enough, you create a magnetic pull that keeps him wanting more. The power of storytelling. Crafting a narrative that includes you. Humans are natural storytellers. We make sense of the world through narratives, and this applies to relationships as well. If you want to make sure you're on his mind, it's important to craft a narrative where you play a central role in his life. This doesn't mean forcing a connection. It means becoming part of the story he tells himself about what his future looks like. Here's how to subtly weave yourself into his narrative. Talk about shared dreams and goals. Find common ground in your ambitions, whether it's career aspirations, travel dreams, or personal growth. By aligning your future plans with his, you start to create a shared vision of the future where you both play a role. This creates a subtle expectation in his mind that you're part of what's to come. Reflect on shared experiences. When you look back on the time you've spent together, frame it in a way that emphasizes connection and growth. For example, instead of saying, "That was fun," try, "I'm so glad we had that experience together. It feels like we've gotten closer because of it." This reinforces the idea that your relationship is evolving and deepening. Be a supportive figure in his journey. Everyone has a personal narrative of who they are and where they're going. By supporting his goals and ambitions, you position yourself as an essential part of his journey. When he reflects on his own story, you'll naturally appear as someone who helps him along the way. By aligning yourself with his story, you become part of the internal dialogue he has with himself. This not only strengthens your connection, but also ensures that you're a consistent presence in his thoughts. Positive reinforcement, making him feel good around you. At the end of the day, people remember how you make them feel. If you consistently evoke positive emotions, whether it's through laughter, deep conversation, or simply being a comforting presence, he'll associate those good feelings with you. This is where positive reinforcement comes in. Here's how to use positive reinforcement to stay in his thoughts. Compliment sincerely. Genuine compliments make people feel seen and appreciated. Whether it's praising his sense of humor, his intelligence, or even something as simple as how he handled a difficult situation, sincere compliments create a lasting impact. The key is to make your compliments specific and meaningful. Celebrate his successes. When something good happens in his life, be the person who celebrates with him. Whether it's a promotion, a personal victory, or even just a small achievement, showing genuine enthusiasm for his success creates a positive association with you. He'll remember you as someone who brings encouragement and joy into his life. The subtle art of flirting. How to create chemistry without overdoing it. Flirting is an essential element of building attraction, yet it's often misunderstood. At its core, flirting is about creating a sense of playfulness and intrigue, sparking curiosity, and subtly conveying interest. It's not about being overtly forward or aggressive. In fact, the most effective flirting is often the most subtle. In this chapter, we'll explore how to master the art of flirting in a way that creates genuine chemistry without making things feel forced or overbearing. You'll learn how to use body language, eye contact, and verbal cues to create a spark that feels natural and authentic. Flirting, when done right, is an art form. It's not about manipulation, but about fostering a connection that draws someone closer. Flirting as communication, the dance of attraction. At its heart, flirting is a form of nonverbal communication. It's the playful, often subconscious exchange of signals that indicate mutual interest. The beauty of flirting is that it's a dance. It's not about pushing someone into attraction, but about inviting them to engage with you in a way that feels exciting and open-ended. Here's what makes flirting so effective. It creates tension. Flirting introduces a subtle sense of tension, which can feel exciting. When someone isn't entirely sure how you feel, it piques their curiosity and keeps them engaged. It's playful. Flirting adds an element of fun and lightness to your interactions. It's not about taking things too seriously. Rather, it's about enjoying the process of getting to know each other. It invites reciprocity. Good flirting opens the door for the other person to respond in kind. It's not one-sided, but an interactive experience where both people get to express their interest in subtle ways. Understanding the purpose of flirting will help you approach it with the right mindset, one that focuses on mutual enjoyment and connection, rather than pressure or expectation. The power of body language, what you say without words. Body language is one of the most powerful tools in flirting because it communicates attraction on a subconscious level. People are highly attuned to the physical signals that indicate interest, and by mastering these cues, you can convey attraction without saying a word. Here are some key body language signals that can help you flirt subtly. Open posture. Keeping your body language open, arms relaxed, body facing toward him, signals that you're approachable and interested. Closed-off body language like crossing your arms or turning away can unintentionally signal disinterest, even if that's not your intention. Leaning in. Subtly leaning towards someone during conversation shows that you're engaged and focused on them. It creates a sense of intimacy and can make the other person feel like they're the center of your attention. Mirroring. People naturally mirror the body language of those they feel connected to. If he leans in, you might do the same. If he crosses his legs, you could cross yours too. This creates a sense of synchronicity, making the interaction feel more harmonious and connected. Touch. Light, casual touches on the arm or shoulder can be a powerful way to flirt without being overt. These brief, subtle touches signal warmth and familiarity, creating a physical connection that can spark attraction. The key is to be gentle and respectful. Overly assertive touch can come off as invasive. The beauty of body language is that it's often subconscious, which makes it feel more natural. When done subtly, these cues can create a powerful sense of connection without saying a word. Eye contact, the window to attraction. Eye contact is one of the most powerful ways to create and convey attraction. When someone holds your gaze, it creates a sense of intimacy that words alone can't achieve. Eye contact can spark curiosity, build tension, and even communicate vulnerability. Here's how to use eye contact effectively in flirting. Hold his gaze just a little longer. The key to flirty eye contact is to hold his gaze slightly longer than usual, just long enough to create a spark, but not so long that it feels uncomfortable. A few seconds of eye contact, followed by a slight smile or a glance away, can create a sense of intrigue and playfulness. Look away, then look back. Breaking eye contact and then re-establishing it is a classic flirting move. It creates a push and pull dynamic, signaling interest while still maintaining a sense of mystery. It also gives him the chance to reciprocate the connection, building a silent dialogue between the two of you. Use soft eyes. Intense or overly direct eye contact can sometimes feel intimidating. Instead, aim for soft eyes. Look at him with a gentle, relaxed expression. This makes the interaction feel warm and inviting, rather than overly intense. Eye contact is one of the simplest and most effective ways to build chemistry. By mastering this nonverbal cue, you can create a powerful sense of connection that lingers in his mind. The subtle art of teasing. Creating playful tension. Teasing is one of the most fun and effective ways to flirt because it introduces a sense of playfulness and tension into the interaction. When done right, teasing can create an exciting dynamic where both people feel engaged and connected. Here's how to tease in a way that's fun and flirty. Keep it light. The key to successful teasing is to keep it playful and lighthearted. It's about gently poking fun at something trivial, like his love for a certain sports team or his quirky habits, not making hurtful or personal jabs. The goal is to create a sense of fun, not to make anyone feel bad. Show affection through teasing. Teasing, when done right, can actually show affection. It signals that you're comfortable enough with someone to joke around, which can deepen the bond between you. It's a way of saying, I like you enough to play with you like this. Tease, then compliment. A great way to balance teasing is by following it up with a genuine compliment. For example, you might tease him about how he's always late, then smile and say, "But I'm always happy to see you when you finally get here." This creates a balance between playful teasing and warmth, ensuring that the interaction feels fun and positive. Teasing adds a layer of fun to the interaction, making it feel more dynamic and engaging. When done correctly, it can create a sense of playfulness that keeps him intrigued and thinking about you. Verbal flirting, the dance of words. While body language and eye contact are critical, the words you say also play a significant role in flirting. Verbal flirting is about creating a sense of connection and playfulness without being overly obvious. Here are some strategies for verbal flirting. Use playful banter. Banter is a form of flirtatious conversation that's light, quick-witted, and often filled with playful jabs. It creates a fun back-and-forth dynamic that keeps the conversation engaging. The key to good banter is to keep the tone playful, not combative. It's about having fun together. not trying to one-up each other. Ask intriguing questions. Rather than sticking to surface-level small talk, ask questions that make him think and engage on a deeper level. For example, instead of asking about his job, you might ask, "What's something you're really passionate about right now?" Or, "What's your dream adventure?" These types of questions spark curiosity and help you learn more about each other in a meaningful way. Compliment strategically. Compliments are a powerful tool in flirting, but the key is to make them specific and genuine. Instead of generic compliments like, "You look good," try something more thoughtful, like, "I love the way you light up when you talk about something you're passionate about." These types of compliments show that you're paying attention and appreciating his unique qualities. Use suggestive language subtly. Flirting can sometimes involve a bit of suggestiveness, but it's important to be subtle. Rather than being overt, hint at attraction through playful, slightly ambiguous language. For example, saying, "I always have fun when I'm with you," leaves room for interpretation and keeps the conversation flirty without crossing any lines. Verbal flirting is about creating connection through words. By using playful banter, intriguing questions, and genuine compliments, you can build chemistry in a way that feels natural and engaging. Timing is everything, knowing when to flirt and when to hold back. While flirting is important, it's equally essential to know when to pull back. Constant flirting can feel overwhelming or even insincere. The most effective flirting happens when there's a balance between showing interest and leaving space for the other person to engage. Here's how to balance flirting with holding back. Flirt, then retreat. After a few moments of playful flirting, pull back slightly. This creates a push and pull dynamic that keeps things interesting. It's about creating moments of connection, followed by brief pauses that leave him wanting more. Let him lead sometimes. Flirting shouldn't be one-sided. Give him the opportunity to take the lead and flirt with you as well. This ensures that the dynamic feels balanced and mutual. Know when to be serious. While flirting is fun, there will be times when it's appropriate to switch gears and have a more serious conversation. Knowing when to shift between lighthearted banter and deeper, meaningful conversation is key to building a well-rounded connection. By timing your flirting strategically, you create a rhythm that keeps the interaction fresh and engaging. This ebb and flow of connection keeps him intrigued and thinking about you long after the conversation ends. The balance of independence and connection. Creating space to grow attraction. Attraction, at its core, is about balance. While spending time together and building a strong connection are essential elements of any romantic relationship, there's also immense power in maintaining your independence. This chapter focuses on the delicate balance between fostering closeness and preserving the individuality that makes you so intriguing in the first place. Many people make the mistake of thinking that being constantly available, open, and giving is the best way to capture someone's heart. However, attraction thrives on a combination of mystery and intimacy, closeness and distance. By embracing your independence while still cultivating a meaningful connection, you can create a dynamic where he craves your presence even more. This chapter will guide you through the strategies of maintaining your own space, nurturing self-confidence, and creating healthy boundaries, all while deepening the attraction between you. Why independence is attractive: the psychology of desire. One of the reasons independence is so attractive is that it signals self-sufficiency, confidence, and strength. When someone sees that you're content and capable on your own, it makes them want to be a part of your world. Independence doesn't mean emotional detachment, but rather showing that your happiness and fulfillment aren't solely reliant on someone else's presence. Here's why independence is so essential for maintaining attraction. It shows self-confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities you can possess. When you're independent, you naturally radiate confidence because you're secure in yourself. This sense of self-assuredness makes others want to be around you, and it draws people in. It creates intrigue. Mystery and curiosity are important elements of attraction. When you maintain your independence, you remain a bit unpredictable, which keeps him interested and wanting to learn more about you. It leaves room for his imagination, which can fuel the attraction. It allows for personal growth. Independence gives both you and him the space to grow individually. Personal growth is critical for a healthy relationship because it ensures that both partners continue to bring new experiences, perspectives, and energy into the relationship. While building a connection is vital, maintaining your independence ensures that the relationship stays dynamic and exciting. It creates the perfect balance between being close and keeping a sense of autonomy. How to cultivate independence in a relationship. So, how do you cultivate independence without coming across as distant or uninterested? The key is to find a balance where you're giving him space to miss you while still being emotionally available and present. Here are some practical ways to maintain your independence in a relationship. Pursue your own hobbies and passions. One of the best ways to maintain your independence is to keep doing the things you love, whether that's a hobby, sport, or creative pursuit. Not only does this keep you grounded and fulfilled, but it also shows him that you have a rich, full life outside of the relationship. Set personal goals and challenges. Having personal goals that you're working toward, whether they're related to your career, fitness, or personal development, shows that you're driven and focused. This not only boosts your own sense of accomplishment, but also adds to your attractiveness as you're continually growing and evolving. Keep your social life active. Maintaining your friendships and social life is crucial for your emotional well-being and independence. Spending time with friends, family, or engaging in social activities keeps you connected to the world outside the relationship and prevents you from becoming too reliant on one person for emotional fulfillment. Spend time alone. While it's great to have a social life, it's also important to spend time alone. Whether it's taking time to read, reflect, or just enjoy your own company, solitude helps you recharge and stay centered. It also reinforces the idea that you're content and happy within yourself, which is incredibly attractive. By prioritizing your independence, you maintain a healthy balance that keeps the relationship exciting and full of possibilities. The importance of boundaries. Maintaining emotional and physical space boundaries are a vital part of any healthy relationship. They define where you end and the other person begins, ensuring that both of you maintain your sense of self. Healthy boundaries prevent codependency and allow both partners to feel respected, valued, and free. Here's how to establish and maintain boundaries in a way that strengthens your relationship. Communicate clearly and kindly. Setting boundaries doesn't have to be confrontational. In fact, the most effective boundaries are communicated with kindness and clarity. For example, if you need some alone time to recharge after a busy week, let him know that you'll be taking a night for yourself. Clear communication helps set expectations and prevents misunderstandings. Be consistent with your boundaries. Once you've set boundaries, it's important to stick to them. This doesn't mean being rigid, but it does mean respecting the lines you've drawn for yourself. Consistency shows that you value your own needs, and it encourages him to respect them too. Respect his boundaries as well. Just as it's important for you to maintain your own boundaries, it's equally important to respect his. If he needs space or time alone, honor that without taking it personally. Respecting each other's boundaries builds trust and ensures that both of you feel secure in the relationship. Boundaries not only protect your independence, but also create a foundation of mutual respect. They allow both partners to thrive individually while still fostering a deep connection. Creating space for him to miss you, the power of absence. Absence truly does make the heart grow fonder, and giving him the space to miss you can enhance attraction in a powerful way. When you're constantly available, there's little room for him to reflect on how much he enjoys your company. By stepping back from time to time, you create opportunities for him to appreciate your presence more deeply. Here's how to create space in a way that feels natural and healthy. Don't be constantly available. While it's tempting to be available whenever he calls or texts, being too available can sometimes reduce your perceived value. Instead, focus on your own life and respond when it's convenient for you. This shows that while you're interested, you also have your own priorities and aren't waiting around. Take time apart. Whether it's spending a weekend with friends or pursuing your own activities, time apart is essential for both of you. It gives him the space to reflect on how much he enjoys your company, which makes the time you spend together even more meaningful. Let him initiate sometimes. While it's great to show interest, giving him the opportunity to initiate plans or conversations creates a sense of balance. When he has the chance to reach out, it reinforces the idea that he values your time and presence. Creating space doesn't mean playing games. It's about giving him the opportunity to miss you and appreciate your value. When you find a balance between being present and creating a little distance, the attraction deepens naturally. Building emotional connection while maintaining independence. Independence doesn't mean emotional detachment. In fact, one of the most attractive dynamics is when you can maintain your independence while still building a deep emotional connection. Emotional connection is about sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a way that creates intimacy, trust, and understanding. Here's how to nurture emotional connection without losing your independence. Be vulnerable, but not dependent. Vulnerability is essential for creating a strong emotional bond, but there's a difference between being open and being emotionally dependent. Share your feelings and experiences, but don't rely on him to validate your self-worth or emotional well-being. Emotional independence is about knowing that you can handle your own feelings while still sharing them with someone else. Support each other's individual growth. A healthy relationship is one where both partners encourage and support each other's personal growth. When you're both working toward your own goals and dreams, it not only keeps the relationship dynamic, but also deepens your emotional connection. Supporting his growth shows that you value him as an individual, not just as your partner. Practice active listening. One of the best ways to build emotional connection is through active listening. When you're truly present in a conversation, listening to his thoughts and feelings without distraction, it creates a powerful sense of connection. Active listening shows that you're engaged and care about what he's sharing, which fosters emotional intimacy. By balancing independence with emotional connection, you create a relationship that's both deep and dynamic. You're able to maintain your sense of self while also building a meaningful bond with him. When to pull back. Recognizing signs of overinvestment. Sometimes we get so caught up in building a connection that we lose sight of our own needs and independence. Overinvesting in a relationship, whether emotionally, mentally, or physically, can lead to burnout, frustration, and even resentment. That's why it's important to recognize when you're giving too much and need to pull back. Here are some signs that you might be overinvesting. You're always the one initiating contact. If you find that you're always the one texting, calling, or making plans, it might be a sign that you're investing more than he is. While it's great to show interest, relationships should be a two-way street. You feel drained. If spending time with him starts to feel like an obligation rather than something you enjoy, it's time to reassess. Healthy relationships should energize and uplift you, not leave you feeling emotionally drained. You're neglecting your own needs. If you've stopped pursuing your hobbies, spending time with friends, or focusing on your own goals because of the relationship, it's a clear sign that you need to pull back and reclaim your independence. When you recognize these signs, it's important to take a step back and refocus on yourself. Pulling back, the art of balance in love, confidence, connection, and attraction. Love and attraction are not simply the result of shared experiences or deep emotional exchanges. They are a delicate balance between closeness and distance, confidence and connection, playfulness and seriousness. The key to a successful and lasting relationship is mastering this balance. Throughout the chapters of this book, you've learned how important it is to value yourself and maintain your independence, while also fostering a meaningful and deep connection with a partner. You've discovered that attraction stems from your self-worth, independence, and the ability to engage in authentic, genuine interactions. Flirting, creating chemistry, and building attraction require subtlety and an understanding of how to communicate desire without being overwhelming. Body language, eye contact, playful teasing, and verbal cues all play a significant role in creating that spark. At the same time, boundaries and space are essential to allow both partners to grow individually and as a couple. You've learned the power of emotional connection without losing your independence, and how to recognize when to pull back to ensure that the relationship remains balanced. Independence isn't about distance, it's about showing that your happiness doesn't rely solely on another person, making you more desirable in the process. Ultimately, the art of love is about creating a dynamic where both partners feel valued, intrigued, and connected, while still maintaining the unique qualities that drew them together in the first place. By embracing this balance, you can build a relationship that is not only deeply fulfilling, but also exciting, sustainable, and full of genuine attraction. The path to lasting love is not about giving all of yourself or losing your identity. It's about showing up fully as the confident, independent, and emotionally open person you are, while inviting him to join you in a dance of mutual respect, growth, and attraction. This is the essence of a healthy, loving relationship, one that thrives on balance, mutual understanding, and genuine connection.